Hello, hi there, Aries. I do hope that you are all well. Welcome to my channel. My name is Bella, and most people know me as Bella the Secret Psychic, and this is your love horoscope for November 2018. So, hope that you're all well. If you do like this, do like, do share, do comment. I love to hear from everybody. Perhaps you'd like to also join me on my Facebook page if you'd like to know more about that. All the links are just down below. So, if you're watching me can't speak. If you're watching me for the first time, I work as a psychic, so I read the energies and I give you a general overview about what to expect with your love life. And for most of you, you know that I like to dive right in there as well. So this is an interesting month for you in terms of how it comes out. So it basically comes out a little bit like this. They're saying here, which is very similar to Sagittarius's sort of last month, where you're shown as giving a lot of warmth, a lot of energy, a lot of your time. And for some of you, you're giving some tangible things, you're giving materialistic things to people. So this is, you may be inviting somebody to live with you, or offering your loved one a loan, or some of you, it's pregnancy as well. So your gift is childbirth. So that's an unusual one. But yeah, there's a lot of giving in your energy. The interesting thing, though, for somebody who is so giving in this month, it feels to me that the other person that you are giving this to, whether it's you giving them attention, whatever this is, the person that you're romantically in with or interested in, you're giving all of this, but they seem to be fighting against what you're giving them a little bit. And it's harder work than you expect it to be. I get some of you scratching your head because it feels to me that, particularly in the first week, I get you lots of giving and giving and giving, and you're not looking for anything in return. So I'm not getting your giving is with strings attached to it. And then when they're first probably a little bit like, okay, like they're just like not as grateful and as you expect them to be, and they're a little bit cold, that it takes until about the second week for you to be like, what's going on here? Like this little paranoia that kind of slips in, which I think is really, really normal. My guides will still want to encourage you, because I think at that stage, and nobody would, the people would forgive you for wanting to pull your energy back from the way that somebody is being despondent, or just not getting back to you, or just being a little bit cold with you, or even though they may be accepting what you're giving them, but then sort of just doing their own thing, or just like it just feels really off. They feel like they're up against it, or they challenge you about why you're doing it. It's this off behavior from your perspective when you're being so giving, basically. And some of you may want to give up, and my guides are saying here is a little bit like you get more with, what's that saying, you get more flies with honey than you do with sugar, or salt, or whatever it is. And it's a little bit like that, because just because they're in a selfish space, or a bad mood, or perhaps slightly paranoid about why you're doing all these nice things for them. So for example, let's say, Aries, you are returning into someone's life and you're being quite giving to them because you've made a return. Some of that could be because they're suspicious, and that's why you're getting it back. It could also be that they've just got themselves into a bit of a selfish space as well, or a single-minded space, then maybe a relationship-based space. Could also be, my guides are saying here, that it could be work-related, that they're so focused on what's going on there that they're just not as engaged as they should be, or taking maybe what you're giving them for granted. But my guides are saying here it's part of your nature in this month to want to be giving, because it makes you feel good. And they almost want you to continue to do that, because even though in the short term, and maybe even throughout the whole month, I can't lie, that you're seeming to be buffering up against a brick wall, you will melt the ice king or queen in the end, is what's been indicated. Basically, you get more out of a situation when you show it love and warmth, basically, than if you try to mirror them, which I think can be a human disposition, that we will start to mimic the behaviours of how someone treats us. that there's very much something about you guys still continuing to treat others the way you wish to be treated, no matter how they are treating you at that time. And I'm not saying that you need to be a doormat or be walked over, and I think you need to use your own judgment in terms of the strength of your connection, the length of your connection, to see whether it's worth you doing that. But if it is worth it to you, then they're just saying here, you know, killing them with kindness basically works out in the end. Now, for some of you, you'll resolve that in that month, but like I said, I have to be honest, some of you, it feels like you'll go a few weeks with that kind of energy between you and this other person. What else can I say to kind of, just going to dig a bit deeper just to kind of find out what's going on for them. Like I said, I've given you some roundabout stuff, and I have to say, it keeps coming out as that they're quite, you know, sort of single-minded and quite all about themselves and solving the problems that they have. That they're just not looking at the gratitude, or they're not looking or appreciating how you're helping them to navigate through whatever they're going through, basically, and perhaps not even talking to you about it really properly, so you're having to play this kind of guessing game. And it's important I give this message, because I do know, like I said, in the second week after like trying, you guys could feel really emotional about it. And the trouble is, when an Aries gets emotional, it might start out as tears, but then it turns to fire. And I think this is what my guides anyway don't want you to do, is to pour oil on water, basically. It's almost like, and I think I said to one other star sign, it's almost like you need to let them get on with it, let them deal with it. You just be indifferent, step aside, and just and still being warm, you know, because, you know, could you imagine that reflection every time? It's normally the tactic, you know, like if you get into an argument with somebody, or somebody's trying to verbally attack you, quite often, like I said, it can be our disposition to want to bark back, but actually to diffuse the situation is to actually be as nice as possible to that person, because it's quite hard for them to go any much further with attacking you verbally if you're just like really nice to them. It's quite hard to do. And so by you having that disposition to their indifference, we'll see them probably snap out of it quicker, but also see you with some sanity around this also. Because what my guides are saying here, they'll learn from you. They'll learn once they snap out of this and they start to see all this giving and warmth you're giving them that makes them feel like they can breathe easy. They will see it, they will appreciate it, and the tide will be turned, and they'll start to learn and give it back to you, basically. It feels, my guides are saying here, it feels to me, for some of the people that you're with, they're trying to spin, what's the word I'm looking for? Wool into gold. And so because they're so focused on trying to spin wool into gold, they are not taking care of your needs, basically, because they're so fixed on something that, again, that they think is going to elevate them or makes them think good. They're very, very single-minded. Now, some of that could be that they're taking advantage of some of the resources from you also, so bear that in mind. But like I said, killing them with kindness, giving them still warmth, sees you come through it in the end, but do measure that based on the length and the strength of your connection. Don't just give that to anybody. Also, I do get that for those that do want to do this the entire month, it is at the end of the month that they start to ponder whether their ideals about themselves and whether their methods are truly making them happy, are making progress, and also get them to think about what you mean to them and what they're doing to you, and just suddenly start to see that for the first time. But by the by, it feels a little bit like a rough month-ish, a little bit like sandpaper. You're trying to rub them up the right way, and they want to be rubbed down, and you'll keep rubbing and hoping that it will shine, and they just rub themselves in the dirt, and no matter how much you try to lift them, they just seem to be elsewhere. But it won't be forever, and that's really the theme to prepare you in this month when it comes to your love life, the sort of energy that you sort of have with somebody else of a romantic nature. And this will include somebody new. You may meet somebody new who then is there and not there, and not being as giving and things like that. And that's probably the only case where I would say, because it's a new connection, so he's not got the strength and he's not got the longevity for you to probably keep giving your light. That's the only set of circumstances that I would be like, pull away, because really, do you really want that? If they want you, they'll come find you next month, and then they'll have to do the work. Does that make sense? So that's really the general overview when it comes to your love life for November 2018. Hope it's been helpful, and if you'd like to know more or get a private reading, again, the links are just down below. And my name is Bella, and it's always been a pleasure to give you a reading, and I will see you here again next month. Take care.